Today's assignment in Online Drawing 2 is a color drawing of objects that are complementary colors. In my case, I'm using a blue pitcher and an orange, and then I'm also using a green-yellow with a reddish color. So it's pushing green and red off of one another. Now, what we're going to be doing is working in pastels. I'm going to do a vertical, but you can do a horizontal or a vertical, depending upon your objects. Like I have in the past, I'm going to be drawing with a couple of different pencils so that I don't have to do a lot of erasing later. If you draw with only white, you have a lot of white to get rid of, and if you draw with only black, you have a lot of black to get rid of. So in this case, excuse me, I'm going to be drawing with the blue, the white, the orange, and the red. And once again, I'm thinking about the space around my objects. I'm thinking about the table and how much I see in front of the horizon line and how much I see above the horizon line. And in this case, there is approximately it's approximately half and half. I think I'm going to turn it to the side here because it's not as tall as the other ones. And that will help me get everything in. So I'm just going to lightly put in the horizon line with a little bit of blue. And I'm going to be using blue as my surface color. So that works for my horizon, but whatever surface color you're going to be using, you may want to do that. Then, because it's my focal point and I'm going to have to get it right, I'm going to work with white just for my, my main event, which in this case is my picture. Now there should be more of it above the horizon line than there is below, from my point of view. It helps if you break it into parts. There's this cylinder at the top, and then the circle down here. Try and make the shoulders about the same on the circle. Now I'm starting to work with blue. And then I replace my horizon line now that I know where everything is going to be. So then I start picking up my colors, just laying them in lightly. I have a brighter yellow and green combo here. Before I put down too much more, I want to put in my highlights. I'm also going to create the dark of the base, the thing it's sitting on. so that I know what the value shift needs to be when I start working with the warmer, brighter colors. So it's a combination of a kind of a dark blue and a little bit of green. Okay, the lighter areas like here and here have to have plenty of light and light colors down before I start putting on very many layers. So I'm putting some white there, putting and remembering the complementary relationship between these colors. When I want my yellow to get darker, I add a lavender or purple. And when I want my orange to get darker, I add the complement, which is blue. For this indentation in my orange, I'm going to pick up some of the blue down here, and I'm going to go in around my white center. And then where the orange meets the table, there's always going to be a dark shadow because it's casting the shadow. So we're going to use the complement, the orange and the blue. But if it doesn't get dark enough, then we add brown. Now the next thing is the apple, and since the apple is a couple of different colors, you have to divide it up. So in this case, there's some red, there is some yellow, and there is a brown stem. And in addition to red and yellow, we need, of course, complements. So purple and the dark green would be the complements of those two. So after I put in the stem, which can have a light side and a dark side to look 3D. I start laying in just where the reds are. Now for the shadow areas, especially the side that's out of the light, a little bit of green, and then more red on top. Taking just a little bit of black and going in along the bottom. Now some of my surface is lighter than others, so I'm going to add a little bit of white in the areas that are catching the light. It will act as a blending stump and make the tablecloth seem more solid. And one thing that I want to be sure of is to make this cylinder look round. So it is fairly light in one area, fairly dark in the the area that's right beside it. And I can mix it with a little bit of brown. So it feels like it's moving around. And there is a nice lip that goes the whole distance. And when you are done, you are going to want to erase away any of the smudges that you have had to put down on your paper, because that's part of this process. And I guess I would put a little bit more solidity up here at the top. And if I still have white lines that I don't want, I take them away either by drawing on top of them or using a smudge stick, so that the edge that you see is the edge of the object and not the line that you drew at the beginning of the drawing. Okay? So, time for you to start. Good luck!